in a limousine V.
Wow.
And
Who's in there?
well, it can only be one individual.
Oh, of course. Triple H, Connor Hurst Helmsley.
Mr. Pomposity.
Mr. Conceit.
The Undertaker has the engine all stoked up. He wants that Intercontinental title belt. You could lose it here tonight.
So without further ado, allow me to introduce the first competitor in tonight's main event. A SmackDown superstar competing for the World Heavyweight Championship from Japan, Tajiri!
It is your honor to see and greet once again the greatest WWE World Champion, the Game Triple H.
There's only been one. That was last November at the Survivor Series. One of these 6 men will leave here tonight as the world's heavyweight champion.
Well, the last time Triple H, this is what he's got to be thinking. The last time Triple H was in one of these Elimination Chamber matches, he not only lost his world championship, he almost lost his career.
All systems operating within normal design parameters. Engage cybernetic generation sequence. Malfunction detected. System overload. Warning. 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 System overload critical. Warning. 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 Warning.
Backbone Wrestling Network, welcome to a brand new pod here on the feed. I am Shawn Kidd, and the former host of Territorial, but I also host The Shit Take and Hands of Z with my good friend Keithy. So, you know, as I was going through things and thinking through like time management, and obviously life happens, I was trying to figure out like, how do you do like a Territorial type of pod, which, by the way, for those of you that listen to Territorial, thank you. We have put it to rest because the research on it and the clips and everything, obviously with some workload and things like that, became kind of a burden on me. But I was trying to think through, okay, so how can I still look at some older wrestling, still really kind of give some insights or thoughts on things, and also a pod where on occasion I could bring people with me. I'll be perfectly honest with you with this pod. Logan and Schiff were going to join me. And they will eventually, and I will have them on. It's just with my time and everything. I thought it'd be easier to get this pod out of the gate first, kind of solo, maybe for the first few episodes, whatever. But anyway, the WWE Vault channels, like NXT, WCW, and then the Vault itself, have really opened up a Pandora's box of great stuff. Just amazing, like house show stuff. As of this recording, they just released a NXT house show. They've released an old WCW house show. And the Vault itself just has so many good memories in it. And for those of you that like the network, obviously The network is no longer in the form that we liked when it initially launched with a lot of the older wrestling, and now it's more around Peacock. But then Peacock, you have Netflix, where some of the things on Peacock are no longer available. So I really like the Vault channel, and I'm finding myself watching it a lot to kind of go back and watch some older wrestling. So this is the Vault, and the purpose of the Vault is we are going to pick selections from the Vault itself, watch the matches, watch the shows, might be the house shows, might be individual matches, just looking at the plethora of material they have on there as they update it every day, and talk about some of the matches and things on there, maybe with a little bit of context, kind of give some reviews. Is it worth the watch, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I know Place to Be Nation has also, our sister has launched a similar pod, but we've been working on this pod now for the last 3, 4, 5 months before that came out. So Colin McDougall, who's hosted that one, I've actually reached out to him, and I think there's a way that we maybe one day we'll sync up, maybe one day we'll work together. But I really wanted to get this off the ground. So welcome to the first episode of The Vault. So I will be doing this one solo. So for our first episode tonight, the first 2 episodes actually, I'm going to be looking at Hall of Famers. And with the WWE Hall of Fame this year, as of this moment, as of this recording, what they have announced is the Natural Disasters, the tag team. They have announced a match now will be inducted. And I think as of today, they have introduced Bret Hart versus Steve Austin, the I Quit match, which is iconic. So that is going to the Hall of Fame this year. And then Triple H. Triple H was the first one announced, first inductee announced. Also, we know Michelle McCool will be in the Hall of Fame. So those are all the ones that are announced as of right now. What I'm going to look at tonight on this first episode of The Vault, we're going to look at Triple H. And the way I set this up is we are going to look at 3 Triple H matches that are on The Vault. And some are well known, some are not well known. One I've never even seen, but I heard a lot of things about it because it was on a show that I've never really watched it because it was not apropos at the time because I didn't have the time to watch it. But going back and watching it, it's like, holy shit, that was something if you were watching on a Saturday night. So anyway, 3 matches, Triple H. We're going to dig deep on this pod into WWE's YouTube archives. Again, uncover classic, forgotten, sometimes bizarre matches. And I'll be hosting it, and hopefully Schiff, Logan, and other guest stars as we go on will join me. So we're going to talk about the game. So with the game getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, like I said, it only makes sense to revisit some of his matches, which, again, iconic to downright ridiculous. So here's what we're going to cover on tonight's episode. So first up, I'm going to talk about Triple H versus Tajiri. This is where it's a house show never seen before from Tokyo in 2003 during Triple H's run where a lot of people thought he was on his shit and just held a lot of people back. We're going to talk about the Elimination Chamber from 2003. And if I could sum that up right now, where basically Triple H did nothing, but he still won the match. And then third, I've never seen this match. We've seen 100 Triple H versus Undertaker matches. I've never seen the one for Shotgun Saturday Night from 1997. The one literally where Hunter gets sent down an escalator. So let's really jump into it. Pod probably won't be too long, but you know what? That's okay. I want it to be quick listens, and I'll drop them as we go. And as far as how often this pod will drop, it really will be based on my schedule and what I can do. But hopefully we'll get on a regular cadence. But this is more of a it's a drop it when you can. Record, drop, and so there's no ongoing schedule. So just be on the lookout for the drop when you're listening to the Backbone feed, and hopefully you've subscribed to us on all your podcatcher apps, which would be great. All right, so let's talk about match number 1. Match number 1, Triple H versus Tajiri in Tokyo. So this is how it's set up. So the opening moments, okay, WWE was in Japan, so naturally Tajiri got to shine for the home crowd. And Tajiri was an underrated favorite, I think, from the whole Alliance area. Like, he was just great. We all loved him in ECW. The guy can go, he can wrestle, and I loved him in the WWE. And I would venture to say, and this might be a shit take, one day Tajiri should be in the Hall of Fame. I think he was a big part of the Invasion era, and think he deserves it. Triple H, as we said, is deep into his reign of terror era, was here maybe to not bury someone. I mean, you're in Tokyo, Japan. Tajiri's a hometown guy, so we're hoping here, hey, Triple H, maybe you won't bury somebody like you did, say, a Booker T at WrestleMania. And so here we are. And then fun fact, this is one of those rare 2003 Triple H matches where I think he actually sells. So let's talk about it. So opening moments, Stephanie McMahon, there is no commentary on this, by the way. Again, it's from a house show. Stephanie McMahon introduces Triple H. And if you wondering how to get instant heel heat in Tokyo, this is it. Have Stephanie come out, introduce Triple H, who's the biggest heel like at the time. Tajiri comes out. The crowd goes absolutely nuts. Match starts and Tajiri goes full angry wasp mode, like super fast, high energy, and just sliding up Triple H with kicks. They trade moves back and forth, kind of like a slow start a little bit with some arm drags and things like that. You get to mid-match. Tajiri locks in a tarantula, the submission that is it's illegal, but apparently fine because it looks cool, and I think we all agree that tarantula, he always did look great. Triple H fights back, slowing things down with the classic, I'm just going to grind this guy into the mat offense. You get a first pedigree attempt. Nope, Tajiri escapes and nearly decapitates Triple H with a buzzsaw kick. Second pedigree attempt. Nope, not again. Tajiri actually gets a false finish on a roll-up. As you get into the roll-up final moments, Tajiri goes for a moonsault. He misses. Triple H finally lands pedigree number 2 and gets the pin. Shockingly, after the match, Triple H shakes Tajiri's hand. So, really, and then just surprising that Triple H at the time was a full-on heel. The way that he sold for Tajiri, the way he did for Tajiri is how it should have been done in the hometown. I was actually shocked that this era of Triple H actually showed some respect to Tajiri, which was pretty cool. I guess if the WWE wanted to get into Japan, you had to show a little bit of respect, and I think this is the way to do it. The other cool thing is this match was literally 30 minutes, and it was 30 minutes of like just great action, great selling, trading some mat work. Like it was like just a fine-tuned like wrestling match, which was really, really cool. And something I didn't expect for Triple H. So final thoughts, fun, rare match where Triple H wasn't in full burial mode. Tajiri looked great. Tajiri's buzzsaw kick is always a favorite of mine. I would go 3.5 stars on this match. So if you have not watched this on the Vault, I highly, highly, strongly suggest you go back and watch this match. It's a good find, good hidden gem, and really something you didn't see out of this era of Triple H that really basically shit on everybody. And I'm going to talk about that here in our next match because we're going to go to the Elimination Chamber next. So everybody loves the Elimination Chamber. We know the history of the Elimination Chamber. First one, Shawn Michaels versus the Undertaker. So now, and then we got into the following year, and as we moved on, we had multiple of these. And then we had the one in November of 2002 where Shawn Michaels won the title. So we definitely have some synergy going on with these Elimination Chamber matches. And by the way, I screwed up on the Shawn Michaels Undertaker start. That was Hell in a Cell. That was not Elimination Chamber. So the first Elimination Chamber was indeed that one from November of 2002. So I apologize. I was getting my Hell in a Cell mixed up with the Elimination Chamber. So let's talk about the match. So this, just like when we were talking about Tajiri, is peak 2003 Triple H. Okay, Goldberg, who had debuted coming out of WrestleMania 19 and immediately beat The Rock, was white hot coming in. And, you know, I think a lot of people don't think his 2003 run was really, really great, but this match might have changed my tune a little bit. But Goldberg coming out of the WCW sale, sat at home, and then finally came in kind of late in 2003. It's kind of like the main eventers of WCW at the time when they went through the cell all sat at home. You know, they brought in Ric Flair later. Later on in this year, they would bring in, or later on, they brought in Scott Steiner, who, you know, was really the top guy if you really wanted to drill into it when WCW went out of business, and didn't come across as a top guy here. Really came right in with Triple H out of the gate and ended up looking like a jobber, looking up out of shape, and ended up in a freaking tag team with Test. So how the mighty fell there. But a lot of the folks, and then they brought in the NWO later too as well. So a lot of the folks that were hot in WCW when it closed did not come on board. And I think that's one of the arguments with the whole invasion angle is they didn't really have any top stars. Their top guy, if you really wanted to argue, was Booker T and DDP. And Booker T and DDP as top guys in WWE. DDP was fine, but he was kind of cooked at that point, even though he could still go. And then don't get me started on Booker T. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, Goldberg, here, hot. Triple H, at this point, had a legit torn groin. So basically, he sat in his pod for 90% of the match. So let's talk about the match. So entrances in early stages. Jericho, so you have Jericho, you have Michaels, Randy Orton, Kevin Nash, Triple H, and Goldberg. Those are your participants in this. The setup had been good. I mean, you can hear the video package was good. I think a lot of people going to this match also thought this was a surefire bet that Goldberg was going to win this match. Like, hands down, if you had asked me at the time, this was the opportunity to get it off Triple H. You could protect him as a champion, have one of the other guys take the fall, like have Jericho eat it, because Jericho and Goldberg had their history. But anyway, so let's start about Jericho enters first. His hair is peak wet at the time. Jericho. Shawn Michaels enter next. The man still out here, basically delivering his classics. Randy Orton, and he also is looking more like Shawn Michaels, not in the initial Elimination Chamber that he was in, where he had the doo-doo brown tights and his Lord Farquaad hair, which really took me out. That whole Shawn Michaels era late in 2002, coming out of that Triple H feud and going to Elimination Chamber, the Farquaad hair and the brown tights. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, but this is more traditional Shawn Michaels here, so he's actually looking like Shawn Michaels finally here. This is great. Randy Orton enters, young, arrogant, ready to take bumps. Randy Orton at this time was really, really good, kind of on that trajectory as he got it in 2004 to be like our next big breakout star. Kevin Nash enters, looks absolutely ridiculous with his dyed blonde hair. I believe he had dyed his blonde hair, cut it short for the Punisher movie that they were filming at the time. And then Triple H enters, does nothing, and as he enters, he immediately eats a fucking awesome Michael super kick and literally gets knocked down and back into his pod, which is tremendous. And then Goldberg enters and the place explodes. So let's start about some of the moments from the match. Let's start about Nash. Nash, when he comes in, immediately goes after Jericho and beats the living hell out of him. Then a super kick from Michaels out of nowhere, and then Nash gets pinned by Jericho in literally 2 minutes. So Nash comes in, does the job, gets pinned by Jericho in under 2 minutes after Shawn Michaels super kick. Before leaving, Nash decides, screw it. He just literally just starts destroying everybody, which is a really, underrated fun part of this match. Like, watching Nash just destroy everybody was amazing. And then Nash throws Orton into Michaels and then power bombs everyone on his way out. So just absolutely sick. I think his exit was way better than his entrance. So I love me some Kevin Nash, and I know there's things about Kevin Nash that a lot of people don't like, but I do share an ever-loving love for Kevin Nash with my friends Matt Souza and Logan Crossan. We love us some Kevin Nash. And just a plug there for Highway to the Impact Zone that is here on the Backbone feed too, that Logan hosts. The Nash era in TNA might be one of my underrated favorites. Maybe not necessarily for all the right reasons, but maybe for all the reasons that you're going to love Kevin Nash because he's Kevin Nash. And so free plug there for Logan's pod over there with Matt. And I'm on it when I can be. I used to be a regular, but now I'm on it if I'm lucky twice a year at this point. But really fun pod to listen to, so give that one a listen. Then we get Goldberg. Goldberg enters and immediately starts just annihilating people. Press slams Orton, spear, pin. Spears Jericho through a pod that doesn't break at first, so Jericho just eats the glass and looks like he just ate shit. Then jackhammer to Michaels, pin to Michaels, jackhammer to Jericho, pin. So literally, he has taken everybody out at this point. Orton, just ball of fire Goldberg, classic Goldberg. What everybody loved about Goldberg, he looked like a star in this match, like legit star. Like I said, I don't remember really loving the Goldberg era of 2003 because 2003 is painful. A lot of the reason is because of fucking Triple H, but Goldberg just absolutely obliterated legends here. I mean, legends. Orton, Michaels, Jericho just destroyed him. So here we go. Let's get to Triple H. Triple H at this point is still hiding in his pod because he's got a torn groin and he can't do fucking shit. By the way, let's not talk about Triple H's tights here. I remember watching this match and go, what the fuck is Triple H wearing? He's not wearing his traditional, just tights. He's wearing I guess it's like a groin hugger, like spandex kind of thing where he's hiding his groin. He's got his, Triple H logo on the front of his of his spandex, and he looks kind of ridiculous, but I guess you got to protect the dick. So Triple H absolutely had to protect his penis here, so I get it. But he hasn't done shit in this match. Legit, the match is going on. He's still in his pod from eating that Shawn Michaels super kick. So I guess it's a good way to get him out. Goldberg literally kicks in the rest of the plexiglass like it owes him money, and then he just starts wrecking Triple H. At this point, Triple H is bleeding. In 2003, you got blood. Then, out of the blue, Ric Flair slides a sledgehammer to Triple H. Wham, sledgehammer to Goldberg face. Triple H gets the pin. That's it. That's all Triple H does. He doesn't do anything, really, except eat a super kick, bleed, sledgehammer to Goldberg, gets the pin. Post-match, Evolution handcuffs Goldberg to the chamber, beats the hell out of him. Crowd is furious. Yeah, that ending. Goldberg really should have won this match. I think it was a good shine for him where he absolutely obliterated everybody. Like, there was no questions asked. He was the dominant person in this. I won't lie. I would have liked to see him and Nash hook up because I like their Starrcade match, and I think they had some good stuff in WCW. But really, at this point, Nash was kind of cooked, which is why when he goes into TNA, they use him the way he should be used as Kevin Nash. He couldn't go, really, but goddamn, he was a lot of fun with his personality. But anyway, so again, you get the beatdown afterwards, so that obviously is going to set up a rematch between him and Triple H one-on-one, where maybe they thought the booking of this is they want Goldberg to win the match properly, give him the Triple H shine in a singles match, but I would have liked to see him win it here over Triple H. I thought that would have been great. The crowd is absolutely livid that Triple H won this match, just like fucking livid. And I don't blame him. Triple H couldn't go, and I guess we should say, oh, Triple H, thanks for trying to attempt to do this match with a penis injury. I know I probably wouldn't wrestle a match if my nutsack or balls were hurting, but we'll give it to Triple H. But anyway, final rating, and this might be a shit take. I actually went 4 stars, but it had nothing to do with Triple H. It was because of Goldberg's total dominance and the moments, like certain moments, like the Shawn Michaels super kick to Triple H into the pod was great. Goldberg just kicking everybody's ass and just destroying them. And then Kevin Nash on his way out with his blonde do, just power bombing and making everybody eat shit on his way out. I really, really enjoyed it. I went 4 stars. If you've never seen this match before, I highly recommend you look at it. It's like I said, this Vault is amazing. Again, not for Triple H, but this pod is about Triple H and being a Hall of Famer. But this match was truly about Goldberg and Goldberg's shine. And if you love classic Goldberg, you'll love this match and what he does in this match. I don't remember ever liking it that much. Again, this is only the second time I've ever watched the match. I haven't watched it since my initial viewing, but really big fan. And Goldberg was just a freaking just wrecked people in this. And you can't not love Goldberg wrecking people. And if you don't, I ain't got nothing for you. All right, let's talk about our final match. So again, also on the Vault, Shotgun Saturday Night. I had never have watched this show. I'll be honest, when it was on in 97 on Saturday night, I was younger. I was probably out doing things on a Saturday night that most people my age at the time on a Saturday night were doing, which probably equaled a lot of whiskey, probably a lot of smoking cigarettes, things like that. And I even know I watched wrestling at the time. That Shotgun Saturday Night thing wasn't for me. I watched Monday Night Raw, obviously, but I wasn't watching Shotgun Saturday Night because, the main shit's going to happen on your main show, I always thought. And then Raw sometimes would just show the things that happen on Saturday night, so I don't feel like I missed it. But kind of feel like I did a little bit after watching this match. So here's the setup. Shotgun Saturday, like I said, was WWE's attempt at a gritty underground show. This episode took place inside Penn Station. And I'm very familiar with New York at this point, so to have a match inside Penn Station, very, very interesting. But at the time, Hunter Hearst Helmsley is the Intercontinental Champion. And he's introduced, and I guess part of being gritty with the show was how you introduce people. And the logo under Triple H when he came out to his traditional Triple H music at the time, because he's still in that whole aristocrat area, and literally the caption under him says, "Thinks his armpits don't stink." That's right. Triple H introduced with the logo under him that says, "Thinks his armpits don't stink." So let's talk about it. So we already talked about the unique atmosphere. Undertaker walks down the stairs of Penn Station to get to the ring. And if you see Undertaker walking towards you in a train station, you'd probably turn around and leave at the time, because this is peak dead man, creepy as shit. And I also wondered how many people in this Penn Station were actual wrestling fans. And then you literally see this wrestling ring in the middle of it. You see this guy, the Undertaker, walking down the stairs. I would imagine it probably took him back a little bit, because I know it would have took me back if I weren't a wrestling fan. Triple H, as Taker comes down, he gets jumped before he even gets into the ring. So let's talk about the match. Not much to this match, really. Ref gets taken out early. Triple H, while the ref is down, decides to blast the Undertaker with the Intercontinental title. It's an Intercontinental title match. Vince, like commentary, goes, "Oh, no." Triple H gets cocky, and then Taker sits up. Ref jumps out of the ring because even he's scared. So here's where we get to the ending. And I think this is a DQ, kind of a schmaz, whatever, but the ending, Undertaker chokeslam Triple H into another dimension. Tombstone attempt on the IC title. Triple H bails out of the ring. Triple H runs up the stairs. Taker follows. This is like an all-time view on this next one. Taker lifts Triple H up and hits a tombstone on top of the escalator. And then Triple H's lifeless body just rides the escalator down. So this match, obviously not great. But all-time visual. Triple H may be the only man in history that got tombstone onto an escalator and took the ride down. So it makes you wonder, this is a true moment in time, because we have never seen anything like this ever again, which you would think if they go to the archives, and obviously the Undertaker's not around anymore, but with some of these like I Quit matches, or if they do street fights or things like that, the arenas have escalators. I wonder why they haven't revisited this yet. And if they have revisited it and I haven't seen it, I apologize, but I thought this was funny as shit. And Triple H obviously eating shit, not looking so great in this, but I hated this Triple H era character. I hated Triple H when he went into DX. He was just so obnoxious, and I just couldn't stand him. So thank God for the evolution of the game, because the game I can deal with, but I could not deal with this era of Triple H. And I even hated him in DX. I thought he was just a fucking clown, and I couldn't stand him. But I could definitely. But anyway, final rating, kind of unrateable, but a must-watch for the escalator ride here. I think if you just watch the whole thing, doesn't take a whole lot of time. I would watch this one for sure. All right, so here's my final thoughts and wrap up on these 3 Triple H matches that you can find on the WWE Vault. Match of the night for me, it's tough, because here's the thing. For me, it's Elimination Chamber purely for Goldberg's destruction. I went 4 stars on it, but purely for Goldberg. Most watchable spot, Triple H's escalator ride to hell, thought was hilarious. And I also love the super kick into the pod in the Elimination Chamber. I also love Kevin Nash going bonkers on power bombs, and I love Goldberg just wrecking everybody. So, and the best overall match, if you just want a good, solid wrestling match, if you're a wrestling fan that kind of mixes all the things about wrestling that you like, slow, great pace, peak kind of Tajiri, Triple H in his Reign of Hell era, actually doing something as a world champion, I would watch Triple H versus Tajiri. It's a fun little Tokyo gem. It's 30 minutes, but it doesn't feel like 30 minutes, so I would go with that as my best overall match. So here's the thing that we want to ask, and I get this asked a lot, in my circles or whatever in chats, is Triple H an all-time great? He is. I mean, let's really put it into context. Like, if you look at the evolution of him as terrorizing, then he gets into the WWE as the whole aristocrat, whatever. I can't even say aristocrat. It reminds me of Arachnaman when I used to say it on the 7 Months of Danger pod. I can't get certain words out. And then if you look at his evolution into DX, then his evolution into the game, what he's done for the WWE these days now as a head of creative, the guy has done an absolutely amazing job, and he is part of WWE as it is today. And a lot of people say, oh, he married into the McMahon family. You know what? I think he superseded that thought process at this time, and he's deserved what he's gotten. People really enjoy working with him. I know Triple H in a day was a real son of a bitch, real fucking prick, but it's almost like an evolution of maturity you can see in him. And he really, really cares about the product. And so, yes, we can shit on Triple H all we want, but he does absolutely deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, and he is an all-time great. So that wraps us up for this first episode. Like I told you, very quick listen. Under 30 minutes here on this episode, and I imagine all of them will be under 30 minutes. Some might be shorter. But, yeah, so definitely go out of your way to watch. Even all of these have their moments. All of these have their things. So I would definitely go back and watch all of these just for the various reasons I brought up. So with that, I appreciate you listening to the first episode of The Vault here on The Backbone. We look forward to sharing more thoughts, more of these with you as we go on. And I love the fact that we have this Vault on the YouTube channel, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's almost like a gift from them that we're getting this. And the fact that you have a WCW channel, an NXT channel, a WCW channel, and a WCW channel, man, the archives they would have there with some of the Crockett House shows, which they've already dropped. They dropped one from 1984 already. They dropped a house show. They dropped a house show from 1993. There's so much content they have that you never saw on Peacock, you never saw on the network, that is at their disposal. And yes, you might see watch, rinse, repeat some of the things that are already on there, but I love that they drop these little hidden gems, and they're dropping free WrestleMania 3 on there. They're dropping Elimination Chambers on there. They're dropping Royal Rumbles on there. And if you've never had experience with some of the paid tiers that we had to do, and you have this, it really is a present and a gift from WWE. So with that, guys, again, thanks for listening, and I will catch you on the next episode of The Vault here on The Backbone. Good night, everybody.
Why are you still crying? pain is now through. Please forget those teardrops. Let me take them from you. The love you are blessed with, this world's waiting for. So let out your heart, please, please, from behind that locked door. It's time we start smiling. What else should we do? With only this short time, gonna be here with you. And the tales you have told me, from the things that you saw, makes me want out your heart, please, please, from behind that locked door. My love goes, if I'm rich or I'm